What's up, folks? I am a bit frustrated, and today we're just going to talk a little bit about the state of things here in Virginia and in regards to tyrannical rule and what is it you personally would be willing to sacrifice to be able to avoid tyrannical rulers. I think that this day and age we've got so much we take for granted that we forget that 2 days from now, on Saturday, July 4th, that we'll be celebrating our independence from the king and the queen, from tyrannical rulers. And yes, our rulers today, even though we vote them in different situations, they can be tyrannical as well. Lord Tyrant Governor Blackface Northam, who I have no respect for as a person, especially for someone who did pediatric surgery and stuff. Some of the stuff he said about what he would be willing to do for children if they didn't basically meet the criteria of a normal child, so that parents didn't have to deal with the burden, basically, raising children that may have additional challenges because of things that were outside of their control. Guy is as evil as it gets, and the scary part about it is, seems like an average dude on the face. And he continues to chip away at our liberties, things that are granted to us by God, by our Creator. And we, the people in Virginia, have allowed him to do it. We have continued to go through our day-to-day, mundane lifestyles, doing whatever it is that we want to do. It's all about selfishness. So, Christian, I'm telling you, sin, we're innately sinful. We're born innately sinful. The Bible's clear about it. One thing I would challenge everyone to consider is that all sin at some point, somewhere inside of it, all of it, has selfishness in there. Selfishness is always attached to it. So we end up with rulers, tyrants, people like him, who continue to chip away at it, and we continue to blindly vote in whoever we think will give us the most. Not who will do what is right when things are on the line. This goes for both sides of the aisle too. Most of the people, they just get there and seem like they get comfortable, or they get wrapped up in all of the things that life has to offer them once they're in a position of power. People have forgotten that when you're in a position of leadership, that you are there to serve others. I'm in a very low, nothing to compare position to people like that, to the governor and stuff like that, senators, presidents, all that stuff. I'm simply a manager, an assistant, actually. I've been a store manager before, but currently an assistant manager at a store. And it's so sad when people like myself and others look at our responsibility as just that, as a responsibility that we do not take lightly, when it's something so trivial as quick service industry, things like that. And yet our governors, our senators, our delegates, mayors, all they're focused on is what is in it for them. They'll pander to whoever. They don't care about you or me. And I'm speaking on the plurality, maybe the majority here. And it just frustrates the crap out of me to see so many Virginians forget where we come from, forget our history. And I'm ticked. Disappointed. And anyone who's not, I gotta wonder about you. Where does your liberty lie? Is it with our Constitution? With our nation? Do you understand what the red, white, and blue stand for? Or are you someone that I would modern day reminiscently call a loyalist? Are you one of those cowards who just was like, you know what? King's got his dealio, yeah, taxes, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. Representation not being there. All of this crap. Would you have been a loyalist and gone ahead and turned in fellow citizens? Or would you have stood up against tyranny? For me, I am a strong believer in going about everything in a peaceful and legal, current constitutional way. We've got to do a better job of voting. We've got to get out there. And I think that this comes back to lack of education. I think it's a lot of things that are factoring into it. Lack of understanding about our actual history. I've got a school book that's printed back in 1827, okay? Public school book, filled with Bible verses, scriptures, morals. A lot of people probably don't even know what morals are. You probably have to go look that up. Then again, why would I know? I'm homeschooled. I was homeschooled 10 years. I'm not smarter than anyone else except for the fact that I got much better education. So it's not my own awesomeness. That's just me being very grateful for having parents that recognized the value in homeschooling. So today, found out that Northam is at it again with Second Amendment stuff as well, which protects the First Amendment, protects everything else. So that also frustrates me. It's just all of these things that he's done already, just piling up, and now they get this super majority or whatever, and it just completely goes nuts. To the point that stuff that was going to be voted on in January 2021 that they've gone ahead and tabled, he's now decided today that he's going to, or announced, he's going to call a special session to try to rush this stuff through in August. It is clear to me that Governor Northam does not respect the people. He does not fear the people. He fears someone else, something else, some other people. But it's not Virginians. That's for sure. We peacefully met in Richmond back in January. Lowest number I've heard quoted is 23,000. And I was there. I documented everything. I left my guns, decided not to go ahead and represent in that sentence, and allow everyone else to go ahead and have my back so that I could go ahead and capture tons and tons and tons of video and photo evidence of just what happened. And then to watch the media, of course, after talking with a few of them, they seemed like nice people and whatnot, but then to watch them go online later onto their own social media accounts as well as their news network and talk, and to see the difference between who they are when you're not next to them face to face talking with them, and to the evil, absolute, gross, disgusting excuses of excrement that they become. Because maybe they do it for the money, maybe they do it for the clout. Maybe they do it because they're afraid of losing their job. Maybe they do it because they're afraid of someone else. Sorry, I know this is really, really dark. I'm gonna wrap it up. Just needed to vent about some of this stuff. I hope that some of y'all are able to relate. Hope a lot of y'all. July 4th. It's coming up. 2 days. If you don't know what July 4th is about, if you don't know our basics of our history, you shouldn't call yourself an American. Not until you figure that stuff out. Not until you start finding out what we actually went through. Anyone who thinks that we need to completely tear down the country that we have obviously doesn't know their history. And in my opinion, they need to get out. Yes, I'm a Christian. I love people. I'm meant to reflect Christ's love, right? I understand that. At the same time, it's very biblical to go ahead and rise up against tyrannical rule. We need to go ahead and come out and vote better. We need to go ahead and not be lazy. I personally have not done that. I've always voted. But that being said, a lot of people I talk to have chosen not to. And to me, that's to spit on the people who've gone out and risked everything for our country. Everything. Some of them paying with everything, with the ultimate price, paying with their life, the lives of family members. A lot of people don't talk about that either. The founders of our nation, how many of their spouses, for crying out loud, what they did, and how many of them were killed and taken prisoner during the revolution. We'll talk more about all this another time. In the meantime, you need to search your heart if you haven't already. I continue to do that daily, and just reminded that at the end of the day, God is in control. But at the same time, he gives me an ability to go ahead and go out each day, earn a living, be able to go out, hopefully impact other people for Christ, and also have a voice when I'm concerned about the direction of our nation. And even if no one ever watches this, I mean, I don't really care. This is about, even if it is never watched, it's just about me being able to share what's on my heart, and hopefully my own children and grandchildren one day will be able to watch and at least know who I am. I don't want anyone to ever try to be able to say different, and it's a beautiful thing about this kind of stuff. You'll get to know me, unlike what's happening now, where people are trying to lie about who George Washington was, what he believed. So many other amazing founding fathers, all flawed, of course. No one's perfect except for Christ. So, that is a really ominous ending. Anyways, we'll be back, more cool stuff. I think I'll go maybe over the CMMG conversion kit tomorrow. Give some people tips on how to be able to save money on ammo and whatnot. Especially with the upcoming potential 10% tax on ammunition too. It's another thing they're trying to do. If it's not expensive enough as it is, but just do what I can. In the meantime, make sure you guys are talking to your representatives. And if you are not pro-Second Amendment, you probably need to learn a bit more about it. And pro-Second Amendment doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a bunch of guns or anything like that, but it does mean you need to understand why it's important that we have the right to have them. Well, it's not a right, it's freaking from God. Like, that's not something anyone else can give. God is the one who gives all of the creatures in the world the ability to go ahead and defend themselves, and it's the way that things work. Yeah. Anyways, I can't even see me. So funny. Outline. Well, anytime I'm not able to just go ramble on like really fast, that's obvious I've got a lot on my mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest, sleep on it, and I'll talk to y'all later.